I spent months being productive, planning my days, making to do lists, researching strategies, organizing my files, optimizing my routine. Every single day, I was busy. I felt productive. I felt like I was making progress. But at the end of those months, nothing had actually changed because I wasn't being productive. I was procrastinating. I just didn't realize it. And if you're working hard but not moving forward, if you're busy every day but nothing's actually changing, you might be doing the same thing. So, let me show you 7 things that feel like productivity but are actually just keeping you stuck because I did all of them and I wasted a lot of time before I figured this out. Quick context on who I am and why you should listen to me. I'm Priyansha, I'm 24, and for a while I was stuck, directionless, watching everyone around me move forward while I stayed in the same place. But here's the thing, I wasn't lazy. I was working every day. I was doing things. I just wasn't doing the right things. I was confusing activity with progress, motion with results, being busy with being effective, and it took me way too long to realize that some of the things I was doing, the things that felt responsible, that felt smart, that felt productive, were actually the exact things keeping me stuck. So, about 90 days ago, I changed my approach. I stopped doing busy work and started doing real work, and everything shifted. Not overnight, not magically, but measurably. And that's what this video is about. The specific traps I fell into and how to avoid them. So let's go through them. Number one, and this is probably the biggest one, researching instead of starting. Here's what this looks like. You want to start something, a business, a skill, a project, whatever. So you research, you watch YouTube videos, you read articles, you compare strategies, you look at what successful people did, you dive into Reddit threads, you make notes. And it feels productive, right? You're learning, you're gathering information, you're being smart and strategic. But here's the problem, you never actually start because there's always more to learn, there's always another video to watch, another article to read, another strategy to compare. Research becomes the thing you do instead of the thing you're researching. I did this for months. I wanted to start creating content, so I researched how to grow on Instagram, what makes a good reel, what time to post, what hashtags to use, camera angles, editing techniques, everything. I could have taught a masterclass on content creation, but I hadn't created anything because research is safe. Research doesn't require you to put yourself out there. Research can't fail. So, what to do instead? Set a research limit. Give yourself 2 to 3 days maximum to learn the basics. Then start. Even if you don't feel ready, even if you don't know everything. Because you learn more by doing one thing badly than from researching 100 things perfectly. Number two, planning the perfect plan. Oh man, I was so good at this one. You know what I'm talking about. You want to achieve something, so you make a plan, a detailed, comprehensive, foolproof plan. You break it down into phases, you set milestones, you create timelines, you map out contingencies, you optimize the sequence. And it feels amazing. You feel organized, you feel prepared, you feel like you're already halfway there. But you haven't actually done anything yet because planning feels productive. It feels like progress, but it's not. It's preparation for progress. And here's the trap, the more detailed your plan, the more intimidating it becomes to actually start because now you have this perfect plan and any deviation from it feels like failure. I planned my getting my life together strategy like I was launching a startup. Daily routines, weekly goals, monthly milestones, backup plans, optimization strategies. Do you know what happened? Nothing. Because every time I didn't follow the plan perfectly, missed one workout, woke up late one day, I felt like I had failed. So I'd make a new plan. I spent more time planning my life than living it. What to do instead? Make a simple plan, not a perfect plan, a simple one. 3 steps maximum, then start executing step 1. Plans change as soon as they meet reality anyway. So start with reality, adjust as you go. Number 3, consuming content instead of creating. This one's subtle and it's everywhere. You want to improve yourself, so you consume content. Self improvement videos, podcasts about success, books about habits, courses about productivity, and it feels productive. You're learning, you're growing, you're investing in yourself. But here's the truth, consuming content about doing things is not the same as doing things. And if you're constantly consuming, you're never creating. I was addicted to this. I'd watch videos about building discipline while lying in bed. I'd listen to podcasts about taking action while not taking action. I felt like I was improving because I was learning, but I wasn't applying anything. Knowledge without execution is just entertainment. And here's the really insidious part: consuming content gives you the dopamine hit of progress without the discomfort of actual progress. You feel like you're moving forward because you're learning new things, but if you never implement them, you're just informed and stuck. So, what to do instead? For every hour you spend consuming, spend 2 hours creating or applying. Watch a video about productivity, great. Now implement one thing from it. Read about building habits, cool. Now build one. Consumption without creation is procrastination with good branding. Number 4, reorganizing your life. This is one of my favorites. You know what this looks like: reorganizing your workspace, color coding your calendar, creating new folder systems, rearranging your schedule, optimizing your to-do list app. And it feels so productive. You're getting organized, you're setting yourself up for success, you're creating systems, but you're not actually doing anything that moves you forward. I reorganize my life constantly: new planner, new system, new productivity app, new morning routine structure. Every time I felt stuck, I'd convince myself that I just needed better organization. If I could just find the right system, then I'd be unstoppable. But the truth, I was already organized enough. What I lacked wasn't organization, it was action. Reorganizing is what you do when you want to feel productive without doing anything uncomfortable. It's busy work that gives you the illusion of progress. What to do instead? Your current system is probably fine. Stop optimizing it and start using it. You don't need a perfect system, you need to do the work the system is supposed to help you do. Organization is a tool, not the goal. Use it, don't worship it. Number 5, waiting for motivation. This might be the most dangerous one on this list. You want to do something, but you don't feel motivated, so you wait. You tell yourself, I'll start when I feel ready, when I'm motivated, when the time is right. And while you wait, you do things that you do things that are supposed to motivate you. You watch motivational videos, you create vision boards, you set intentions, you journal about your goals, but you still don't start because you're waiting for motivation to come to you, like it's something external, like it's a prerequisite for action. Here's what I learned the hard way: motivation doesn't create action, action creates motivation. I waited for months to feel ready to start posting, to feel confident, to feel motivated. And you know when I finally felt motivated? After I started posting. Day 1, I wasn't motivated. I was terrified. Day 5, still not motivated, just showing up. Day 10, same thing. But somewhere around day 15, something shifted. Not because motivation finally arrived, but because I built momentum. Waiting for motivation is just procrastination with a better excuse. What to do instead? Start before you're ready. Do it badly, do it scared, do it unmotivated. Because the motivation you're waiting for, it finally shows up after you start, not before. Discipline beats motivation every single time. Number 6, networking without follow through. You want to build connections, so you network. You go to events, you connect with people on LinkedIn, you have coffee chats, you exchange contacts. And it feels productive, right? You're putting yourself out there, building relationships, making connections, but then you do nothing with those connections. You don't follow up, you don't build the relationship, you don't collaborate. You just collect contacts and move on to the next networking opportunity. I did this. I'd have great conversations with people, exchange number, let's definitely collaborate, I'll send you that thing, let's stay in touch, and then nothing. I'd move on to the next person. Because networking feels productive, meeting people feels like progress. But networking without follow through is just socializing with ambition. Here's the truth: one deep connection is worth more than 100 shallow ones. You don't need to meet more people, you need to actually build relationships with the people you've already met. What to do instead? After every networking interaction, do one thing to follow through. Send that resource, make that intro, set up that call. Stop collecting contacts and start building relationships. Quality over quantity always. Number 7, the last one: tracking everything except results. You want to improve, so you track. You track your habits, your routines, your inputs, your metrics. You have apps, spreadsheets, journals, all tracking data. And it feels productive. You're measuring, you're being analytical, you're data driven. But here's the problem: you're tracking activity, not outcomes. You track how many hours you worked, but not what you accomplished in those hours. You track how many connections you made, but not how many turned into opportunities. You track how many days you posted, but not whether anyone cared. I tracked everything: days I worked out, pages I read, hours I studied, tasks I completed. I had all data on the inputs, but I never looked at outputs. Was I actually getting stronger, learning anything useful, making progress towards my goals? I was measuring activity, not impact. And that's the trap. Tracking makes you feel accountable, but if you're tracking the wrong things, you're just accountable to busy work. What to do instead? Track results, not just activity. Don't just track posted every day. Track got X new followers or had X meaningful conversations. Don't just track applied to jobs. Track got X number of interviews. Measure what matters, not just what's easy to measure. So, if all of these things are fake productivity, then what's real productivity? Here's what I learned after wasting months on all of this. Real productivity is doing the uncomfortable thing, the thing you've been researching instead of doing, the thing you've been planning instead of starting, the thing you've been waiting to feel ready for. Real productivity is taking imperfect action, not optimizing, not organizing, not preparing, just doing. Real productivity is focusing on outcomes, not activity. Did something change? Did you move forward? Did you create something? Did you make progress? If the answer is no, you weren't productive. You were just busy. When I finally stopped doing fake productive things and started doing real work, messy, imperfect, uncomfortable work, everything changed. I started posting before I felt ready. I stopped planning and started executing. I focused on creating, not consuming. And in 90 days, I made more progress than I did in months of productivity. So here's my challenge to you. Pick one thing from this list that you've been doing, one trap you've been stuck in, and stop. Just stop doing it. Then replace it with one real action, one uncomfortable, imperfect, messy action that actually moves you forward. Not tomorrow, not when you're ready, today. If this resonated with you, if you've been busy but going nowhere, I'm making videos like this every single week. Real talk about what actually works versus what just feels good. No fake motivation, no bullshit productivity hacks, just honest breakdowns of what moves you forward. Subscribe if you want more of this and drop a comment and tell me which trap have you been stuck in. I guarantee I'm not the only one who's done all seven. And follow me on Instagram. I post a lot of content there too. I'm Priyansha. I wasted months being productive. Don't make the same mistake. Stop being busy, start making progress. See you next week.